We can talk about anything on this, but why don't we just do a real quick? Why don't we just real quick out the gate? All right, so this is going to be a Godzilla podcast, episode number unknown. I'm going riding with my friend Graham Davis, and I'm riding before work, but Graham is free to ride. And the Godzilla podcast isn't meant to be political, but we'll just say that I'm able to ride with Graham because he is part of the federal shutdown. He has been furloughed. He works for the USDA, and he's trying to make good use of his time by riding his bike. But this isn't a secure moment for anybody. He doesn't want to lose his job. So we're about to go for a ride. But can you tell us our ride today and our intention?
Yeah, so it's sort of multi-tiered. One is just mental health after getting shut down and locked out of my computer with the government, but cautiously optimistic that'll all get resolved. But really, the driver for this is the 27th anniversary of the passing of Jim Wilborn, which Jim was from the area. We all grew up together. Joel grew up, he was Peter's class, I was Jim's class. We met at Westland Junior High, and we actually went to University of Arizona briefly together before he transferred. Anyway, he was killed while cycling. He was probably the best athlete I've ever had the pleasure of, non-stick and ball athlete I've ever seen in presence of, and was killed in a tragic accident by a young driver. And that started Peter's crusade with bike law.
So that's Jim Wilborn, and he was tragically killed while on the bike, and he went to BCC, grew up in Bethesda, so that's where all our paths crossed. And Peter Wilborn, who is the founder of Bike Law, his older brother, one of my classmates in Bethesda, one of my oldest friends, we shared a love of biking together. And the Wilborn family was sort of like a second family to me.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time over there on
the holidays.
Yes.
Open houses.
Yes.
Yeah, Ozzie and Harriet turned out not to be Ozzie and Harriet, but in that moment it sure looks pretty perfect.
Yeah. In fact, fun fact, Lloyd Iden's gate code is the last 4 digits of the Wilborn's landline, if it's still in existence. So.
Okay, so now you can now break into Lloyd Iden's backyard. And if you don't know Lloyd, he's the one with the tattoo of a weed leaf on his butt. All right, so we're gonna ride to the National Cathedral, and so we're not mic'd up. I have mic systems. We'll stop and talk at a point, but our conversation while riding won't necessarily be recorded, so we can talk about basically anything, and maybe I can pause for it. But what I'll probably do is just sort of like time lapse. I'll just speed our way through the ride so people can see the ride. So we're riding from here to the National Cathedral, and the Wilborn family put a bench in the Bishop's Garden as a remembrance to Jim Wilborn, and we're gonna do just a quick crosstown ride to the National Cathedral. All right, let's do it. And yeah, so I agree, about, the phrase non-stick and ball athlete. Let me get on the other side so I can show you better. I wasn't there in their childhood, but he was more than likely a Little Falls swimmer.
Yep.
And then he was a runner. I don't know what his running was at BCC. I think he was trying to figure out asthma.
Yeah.
And then, he went on, he was an early adapter to mountain bike. I mountain biked with him. And then while in college, he ran 10Ks and did triathlon at a competitive level.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was an animal. He's a beast. Here's a quick one.
Totally.
So while he was going to school in Boulder, I lived in Breckenridge, Colorado with his younger brother, Bert. And one time, we didn't see that many times. One time, Bert, Jim, and I all went on Breckenridge Hill, and I was a beginner snowboarder, and Bert was a much better snowboarder, and Jim was a skier. I just remember, Jim would wait at the top, and then he would just blaze down. And there was one point where we were going to take a turn off the main close onto a much deeper bump down run to get to another peak. And so Burke and I were standing at the top of this super steep, and Jim comes screaming down, GS turns down the main run, and he turns towards us, but instead of stopping, continues straight. But like, while making eye contact with Burke and I, he's in midair, and he misses like 3/4 of this bump run, and like sticks the landing and finishes it out, and we have to pick our way through this super steep bump run on snowboard. And we get to the bottom, and he was like, let's do that again. That was the best run all day. I was like, best run all day? You missed it.
Yeah.
You know, like, but I mean, he really was a raw athlete.
Yeah.
And he was a raw person. He was real. And I think it's tragic that he died because he and his peer group, they were like although they were doing immature things, they also had like this weird like maturity about them.
Yeah, Jim had things figured out in a very early age.
Yeah, Jim, Robert, you know, so they were at Boston. He's going to keep my son to Boston. They were at, you know, Boulder, and they lived together, and they just weren't like a college student like I was.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't about, you know, being drunk and chasing girls.
Yeah.
And
but they easily could have done both of those things and done very well at both.
well, Robert maybe did a little more than Jim did. but whatever. So yeah. And even like, you know, Jim's seriousness as an athlete, you know, since he was more training, it's not like he would just go out and let's go right here.
Yeah, one of my favorite memories of Jim from BCC was after school, at the, you know, even when the weather wasn't nice, typically spring and fall, I would see him throw his backpack on the bus, either Scott Llewellyn, Peter, or Lloyd, and run home and try to beat the bus at Westbrook. And I'm sure his record of beating the bus was more often than not. But he had a motor that was unbelievable.
Yeah, I can remember like I said earlier, after the mountain bike, and there were a bunch of us who got mountain bikes, Les Morgenstein, myself, and Jim. And I remember we were out at the gold mine, and it was down by Old Anglers Inn. Now, not legal trails, but trails.
No.
And yeah, it was, I don't think we were riding, I think we were riding flat pedals. He might have had lane triplets.
Yeah.
And he bunny hopped the chain, you know, out the trailhead.
Yeah.
And
I think that's good.
yeah, I mean,
I have to show up just because it's good.
yeah.
He helped me buy my first mountain bike when I got to the University of Arizona.
And what was that? Was it Specialized Stump?
It was a Janus something or another. Maybe it's UC.
Well, you remember the GG has the usual multi-triangle design.
Well, that bike got stolen pretty quickly, so then I bought a Trek.
Like father, like son.
Yeah. Except I had mine lost.
So I'm pinching a little bit further away to give us a different camera perspective.
Okay.
I'm not sure how this camera shoots. You know, and from this is a different mount that I haven't really been using. So yeah, it's a tragedy. So, you know,
We're going over to the park and then doing the Twinkle trail. I saw that cuts up through.
I was gonna do the Twinkle Trail, but I was gonna do a more direct route there and park back. And I was gonna pause in the park for more on Twinkle because there's a beautiful view of Connecticut Avenue too.
Yeah. Pause at Carter Barron where I saw.
What's that?
Pause at Carter Barron where Jim, Lloyd, Rob, you know, what's the Jim Clip last summer?
Well, we'll go by then. You know, we're going to have to navigate this closed section. I mean, Kennedy goes straight to Carter Barron.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
you know, a few years ago I hosted the Dead City Alley Cat, it must be, and looked over the left side. And yeah, I had a checkpoint, an impromptu checkpoint for 14th Street down there to Carter Barron for a tattoo. The person I intended to win was Nicole, because I told them before the race that I wouldn't award a tattoo prize for the WTF Women Transcend category unless there were more than 5 races. You know, you can't like have 3 people get a, you know.
That's a participation prize.
Yeah, you can't have a participation. It has to be some sort of race.
You know?
Yeah. And so I was grading the manifest, and then I said, all right, we're going to do one more race to Carter Barron. And Tommy Cow, like they killed my alley cat. And so there's video, and I haven't watched it, but I know it's like a Benny Hill thing. Because when they got there, the first 2 people, I ran away from them. And paid for running because the first person touched me got the tattoo. So it was kind of frenetic and funny, probably frustrating to, you know, the first person there to see like I was trying to savor a finisher. Yeah, so you know, the tragedy of Jim Wilborn and transportation, you know, before Jim's death was the death of Rob Williams.
Yes.
And that was car related as well.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know the details, but you know, I mean, I think that they were hit head on by another fall. So was it a reggae sunsplash?
No, it was just Jimmy Cook and a couple of I think. I think it was like a full day. It wasn't a full day thing, it was at night, so it was a full sunsplash.
I went to a reggae show later with my kids, and they were so cool about marijuana smoking.
Outdoors or indoors?
Outdoors.
Huh.
They were turning the lights on and rushing people.
Where was
In Carter Barron.
Really?
See? Can you feel it? Exactly. Like, can you feel it? Like it's just like, this isn't even a road.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it is, but it's still 25. I can see the sign is 25.
Yeah.
But it's essentially a parking lot. My kids grew up playing soccer on this field.
Yeah.
Over here is this, this puddle that's happening, I think every year. And in that puddle, frogs lay their eggs. And then it's tadpoles. And so, since I was frequently coming here, there was a time when I rode my bike out to the puddle, and I had Chinese food containers and I filled them with tadpoles. And then the next day I mountain biked to work, and I rode Grover Archibald Trail, and I put tadpoles in, it was right here, that concrete path. And I figured, you know, it's all interconnected. It's not like it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, you know, the next day I was mountain biking through, and I was like, I've never seen so many birds feeding in this spot. You know, like, the word got out. There's tadpoles! You know, like, but that may have been my imagination, but I don't think any frog came to be in any of those situations. Yeah.
Only the strongest.
Well, and that would be the hope.
Fast swimmers, right?
Yeah, some lonely male just crying out for love every night. Well, so they just had a historic celebration, and they're talking about, they've been doing cleanup inside of this place, but the reality is that they haven't done anything.
Yeah.
But what they have done is they packed all the holes in the fences. Because I used to come here, I'd walk my dog in here,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So, but right now, so this is federal property, national park land. Like, and so, I mean, I remember last time around, Graham, wasn't Rock Creek closed? Like, we weren't supposed to ride our bike?
Supposed to ride through it.
Yeah.
Yes. That was an Obama shutdown, I think. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good thing to mention that it was an Obama era shutdown, so that we know that the furloughs and shutdowns aren't solely a Trump Republican thing.
Yep.
So there used to be a hole in the fence right here.
Okay.
And let's dip in for a second. They've replaced the fencing and they've replaced the fencing again.
Yeah.
So they had replaced the fencing
Oh, they put a new outer fence.
What's that?
Oh, they put in this.
Well, there's been two fences. They didn't have to replace the posts, but
Oh, okay.
they would replace it with that standard fencing.
Yeah.
And you just don't have to do that many cuts to get in. This on cuts alone is a deterrent.
Yeah.
Because people they're just going in there to hang out. No one's living there. What's that?
Been cutting cuts already.
Well, there you go, exactly. So, you know, I mean,
It is what it is.
yeah, I'm just bummed I never hosted a checkpoint inside with a race, you know, because it's got some interesting footpaths that could have created a little, you know, criterion loop.
Yeah. Did you go to a lot of shows there when it was functioning?
You know, I would say that my biggest cargo bearing experience, and it's too bad we're not mic'd up because this is a pretty amusing podcast, is when I lived in Mount Pleasant. I was a runner, and you know, I ran a marathon, but I was a fit runner, you know, for a while, and I would run from Mount Pleasant on this trail, and I would approach, and you could hear the music, and you know, the heavy bass, and you know, as you got closer, I would get more and more pumped on my run.
Yeah.
And but yeah, there was it wasn't just shows. There was free Shakespeare.
Oh yeah, Shakespeare in the Park.
Yeah. So, but my reality is, no, I didn't go to that many shows or that many plays, but I did go to shows and plays. You know.
Yeah.
Now, personally, and we'll take a right here. I think that. Have you been to Merriweather in recent years?
Oh, God.
Well, it's revamped.
No, not in probably 20. I've been to Wolf Trap,
Well, I don't know if...
but I haven't been to Merriweather in probably 20 years.
They should redo part of their current Meriwether. But maybe not quite. And you do other shows than the reggae show with the pot smoking DCC. I thought you were gonna say the Carl Rowan cool hopping.
No, I was not with them.
But your era.
Yes.
I mean, that's some pretty intense, you know.
I limited it to Somerset Pool and NCC Pool, public pools. Not, I wouldn't go stretch that out private residence.
What if it was hot?
Not worth it.
Not worth
Yeah. I can remember riding in here with my kids and seeing this guy from the National Park Service, Bob Healy. And I'm like, that guy has seen me break the law on my bike 4 times. Like moving the fence that said, do not enter so my kids could get in, you know? The Quingle Trail?
Well, it used to be a road.
Yeah.
There was no bike lane, and my kids went to John Eaton, and it was a much more rational route. We didn't take it all the time. We had a variety of adventures. What's that? Yeah. I contacted people years ago to try and see if they could build a number of birdhouses to try and, not birdhouses, but bat houses. The Smithsonian people were like, whatever, you're an idiot. No, I mean, no one was looking for more work. But like, I always thought that this bridge would have been an amazing spot to house native bat species to decrease our invasive mosquito species. You know?
Yeah.
And this, you know, it doesn't look bad, but in manicured it looks awesome, you know? This is
It's come a long way.
Yeah.
I haven't been on it since they put it in fish oil.
So back in the day when this is the road, I would not only use it as a cut through, but I'd walk my dogs here.
Yeah.
And it was not uncommon. You see these kids, the doors to the bridges are frequently open. And these, these probably
3 days.
4 private school kids with a glass bomb smoking weed up under the bridge. Put glass bombs stored in the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a. Yeah, having a bee bomb is impressive.
Yeah, and then Field of Dreams, how many? 12 people just passed us.
Yeah.
12 people being active that wouldn't have
Yeah.
been in. They would have to have been somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I was thinking we could pause up here for a minute. And maybe I could ask you another Jim question or two.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm sure I told you, I'm in a three-person group chat with Peter and Josh Tidwell.
But this is soccer.
Tottenham, only Tottenham. Oh, and cycling, but mostly Tottenham.
Well, cycling is huger than it ever was. I don't follow it, but you know.
Not so much, we don't talk about pro cycling, mostly like cycling safety. With Peter.
That's interesting.
Yeah, not so much. I mean, we talk a little bit of TDF, but mostly just.
Well, I think more cross and mountain biking, you know.
Yeah.
It's just.
Ooh, what a nice day. Take these sleeves off. It's getting a little hot out. Not too shabby. So when'd you get this camera set up?
So I got a grant from Humanities DC to start a podcast.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and
That's
so
awesome.
I bought this and some other equipment.
Good for you.
And yeah, so this is like, you know, this is the new blog. This is not doing still photography anymore. You know, close that chapter onto a new chapter. And so I started a podcast where I interview. It's supposed to be interview bike messengers, but it's really Godzilla podcast. I got a grant to interview that, but I want to do more and just general stuff as well, but also DC scene and DC punk stuff.
Oh, okay.
And there's a huge overlap, but it's still in the gestation period. Hello, you know, the identity theft and the change in job broke my workflow. You know, before I was doing delivery work and I had this ultimate freedom, and it would have been the perfect life to pursue messengers and ride with them and interview them. And foolishly, you know, although I was doing a bunch of podcasts, I didn't do that style. You know, it's tough to nail people down. It's tough to get people to whatever. But I'm gonna. You know, nobody knows the answer to this. I was at Disney my nephew the other day and told me he was going to be. He graduated from University of Wisconsin and he was going to get a job, like working on the sidewalk, getting people to get money to like World Wildlife Foundation or something. And I was like, that's not a job. Don't do that. That's annoying as that. Beep, beep, you know. You can hate it. 600 Maryland Avenue, getting bum rushed every time you came out. Like, can't you remember me? I'm at work doing. And then I don't know if I gave you disingenuous comments. Straight. Well, I mean, that's an interesting one.
Over here to the left.
No. Oh, do you know where it is?
I know where I used to hang out at night.
Well, we're not on mushrooms.
And drinking beers. I don't know where. I can't remember.
I wonder if
You
cameras.
showed me once, but I haven't been back. So.
Right. Keep going up. Go to the archway. To the left and into there. Yeah. So you would Wisconsin Avenue is just ahead. You can see part of the building across the street.
Yeah.
I say we enter into the archway right here. Graham, give me a look. All right, lead the way. I think it's to the right. You were at the Bishop's Garden, the National Cathedral. My recollection isn't clear. I think if it wasn't those two, it could have moved it. It might be just right here. I remember seeing it. I think I remember seeing it there. It's around. There's a little work left on it. So it might be worth checking every bench for them.
Yeah. Oh, we're definitely gonna find it.
So we made a mistake by not checking that first two set. You know what I'm saying? There's two up here that woman's sitting on.
Yeah. Well, we'll go through them. Find it.
Thank you. You're professional. No, you're fine. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Thank you.
What's that? Yeah. I think they have a legend, you know. So, you want to identify flowers for me while we're walking through here? What's this purple thing over there?
That must have saved.
That's funny. I really put my glasses on to give myself a good look.
Beautiful garden.
So, did you ever travel to the Bishop's house? The Holly Light? No, we go to the park. No. Okay, I see. Yeah, I'm good.
¿Cómo? Pasado las 3 de la tarde. Ajá, thank you.
Graham, it's always the last one you said.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I found it when we came in. No, it's the first one. Right here. Yep, the chair to the left of it. Want to go sit somewhere?
My partner said I was correct. My botanical.
Yeah, most people say that's lavender, and that really pisses me off. I thought you were gonna get it wrong.
I'm not the best at it, but I know my basics. I know most everything will be. Have you ever been to that the light show that they have? Indoor light show in the cathedral? They clear out all the pews and have a crazy ass light show. It's insane.
I did come up here for the 100-year anniversary when they did the light show on the exterior.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I had Dean with me, and he had a camera on a tripod, and I had a camera. And I couldn't stop taking pictures because every angle was amazing to me. And he's like, Dad, do you think you've taken enough pictures? And but no, I haven't been.
Let me see if I have.
So I have a basic rule with God, and I don't go in his house, and I don't. Yeah, I don't go in his house, and he doesn't go in mine. What's that?
I said, there's one of my daughters from the weekend.
Who are you, George O'Keefe? Looks like you're getting all close in there, dude. Did that type of flower turn you on?
I'll go macro. All right, let me show you these pics.
Let's go sit down.
All right.
Let's do a quick loop around and find like a nice whatever. Because we can reflect on Jim in the basic read. So I was riding home from work as a messenger one summer with Scott Llewellyn, and we were coming through this neighborhood here. And it's weird because it was a bit of a deja vu moment. But we were riding, and just how you and I rode confidently through a construction zone. Scott and I were, we rode confidently through a construction zone, and we rode into wet cement, and it sucked up our front wheels. We went over the handlebars, and we didn't wear helmets in that time. And so when I got up, I thought I hit my head, because each time I tried to step, I couldn't walk. And it was like 9 inches of wet cement. So I was like, I couldn't walk because of the wet cement. And so that's an Allen Road story. Not necessarily a Jim Wilborn story, but same birth year, same street. Yeah. Let's go to the other one that has well, maybe trees are going to block this building in another way.